Hi everyone, hope you're going well. With Bitcoin prices currently at a low, I think it's a fantastic buying opportunity to get some Bitcoin and to be able to build your position. This is usually when things are red on the streets and people get nervous, that's your opportunity to be able to buy. And that's why I raised this video, to be able to help people be able to buy their Bitcoin safely and securely, and to be able to understand where is the best place to buy your Bitcoin. I've been around the Bitcoin space for a couple of years now, and I've made my mistakes along the way, and I've decided basically I'll do a full analysis of some of the best places to be able to buy a Bitcoin, considering whatever level you're at, from beginner all the way to advanced, and considering how much money you're investing at a time. So the four factors I consider when you buy your Bitcoin is: number one, can you move it to self-custody? Meaning, is anywhere where you buy your Bitcoin, can you move the Bitcoin to your own personal wallet? Because due to regulatory issues, some places don't allow you to move your Bitcoin to a safe and secure personal wallet. And you should be able to have access to your Bitcoin anytime and be able to pull it out. And some people don't allow it due to regulations. The second thing I consider is fees, which is basically when you buy your Bitcoin, you pay a fee on each purchase. Now, for me, as a beginner, if you're investing, this doesn't matter as much, especially when you're starting small. It isn't too much of a issue, and it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, you want something that's beginner friendly and easy to use. But it can add up really quickly over time, and when you spend large amounts of money, some transaction fees can be as high as 4.5%. And when you think about it, that can really add up when you're talking about $50,000 to $100,000. That percentage can add up. Number three is security. How secure is the login process? Is your account safe? Is the BTC safe on the exchange side? And basically, if you were to leave your Bitcoin on this exchange for a couple of days, you could. At the end of the day, the aim is to be able to buy and then move it to your personal wallet. That's what I encourage everyone to do. But if you decide for a start you want to leave it on exchange for a period of time, that's okay, and it should be able to stay safe. And number four is user friendliness. Is it easy to go around the site? It's not too overwhelming or confusing, easy on the eye, and something that you genuinely feel safe and secure about investing. I'm going to go through a few options for you guys, and I'm going to be considering them from beginner all the way to advanced options. So number one is any kind of on exchange place where you buy your Bitcoin, which for me is the beginner option. Now, a lot of Bitcoin people will say to you, no, it isn't the best place to invest on exchange because the fees are a bit higher. But for me, especially if you're a beginner or you're a first time buyer, you just need to get your skin in the game. And being able to invest on exchange is a really safe and just easy process to be able to get started. We all started there, and we all invested on exchange, including myself, and there is absolutely nothing wrong in investing on exchange and getting yourself started on there. This is what I recommend in terms of options, and basically I've put together tables to consider some of the big factors that we considered before and what are some of the best options. Now here's the table here. So we've considered a few different options in Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, Gemini, and Bitstamp. Now for me, these options, here's what I've considered. So the account fee in terms of setting up is free. You can set up a free in any of these places, and it should be okay. In terms of deposit fee, so actually getting your money onto the site, it's usually low. Depending on if you use a card, sometimes it can be money, depending on how much you put on, but usually it's very low and it's not an issue. Spread, that's usually about how much, if I buy Bitcoin at a certain price, how much will that price move if it's volatile? Not too much to worry about. The transaction fees is basically if I was to move it or on each buy, how much do I have to pay? This can add up over time, but as a beginner investor, it doesn't matter too much to me. What matters the most to me is probably these last three. And for me, as a beginner, you need to focus on that user friendliness experience, because whenever you're starting off, I promise it gets overwhelming getting into Bitcoin at the start, because it's something that's not tangible. It's not like money. and you need to adjust to it mentally. So you just want it to be as easy and user-friendly as possible, and that's why I've gone Coinbase. For me, the system is just the best looking. I've got no affiliation towards it, but I really like it. And overall, the pricing is pretty good when we're looking at it and doing general research. It isn't anything too crazy, and when you're starting off, Coinbase is a really good place to go. Now, shout out to SwiftX as well. I didn't include this on the list, but it's where I started off on exchange. The issue with this is that it's only based in Australia and New Zealand. So if you're Aussie or you're Kiwi, I'd consider this. It's probably one of the best on exchange places that I've personally used. I love this setup because it's just neat. I'm not even affiliated to these guys. It's just that it's a really easy experience to be able to get started on, and it's where I personally started. And the trading fees are pretty low, and that's why I like it. But if I was to pick from the table which we mentioned before, it'd either be Coinbase or SwiftX, which are the two I'd consider on exchange. The second option is phone apps. Now, phone apps are really cool because they're a fun way to get started and they're quick and easy to use. It's a bit different compared to on exchange because you're easily able to get money onto these phone apps and be able to get Bitcoin in a nice, easy way. It's a similar thing where it's really easy. I haven't personally used phone apps myself, but I've heard a lot of people talk about how good they are. So I'm going to put another table up and consider some options for you. There's Cash App, Robinhood, PayPal, Revolut, and eToro. Now, by far the best one I've heard about is Cash App. Just a really good experience to be on and easy to use. You can just go on your phone at any time, deposit some money, and it's really simple and a user-friendly experience. Overall, just the general look of it is really nice. It's hard to get confused by it. It works really well. It's just a flexible experience. You can auto invest at any time, and it makes things really simple to follow. And it's also got a one-to-one. They've got a reserve in place, meaning that your Bitcoin's pretty safe and secure, and you can trust that you can access it at any time. The only issue with it is the withdrawal, which is this. You can only move to self-custody $2,500 per day, which I guess is an issue if you have a large amount of Bitcoin you've put on the Cash App. But as a beginner, I don't think that's an issue. And if you're just starting off, it's a really good thing. But just be aware of that one pitfall, which is you can only put so much into self-custody at a time. It doesn't allow you to withdraw too much at a time for security purposes, which I guess is a good thing in a way because I don't want any kind of fraud happening on their system. But if you want to move, let's say the 10 grand you got of Bitcoin onto your own personal wallet and you've set it up and you're ready to take that next step, Cash App kind of delays that process. So it's something to consider. However, overall, out of the app options, it's by far the best for me. After this, we go into the number 3, the hybrids or the layer 2 exchanges. These are the ones which you use when you're getting more advanced. They've got more of a trade look and setup to it. You can use it to use leverage as well beyond just spot investing in Bitcoin, which means when you use leverage, you're often borrowing against the amount you've done. You can 5x your investment, which can cause a 5x up or 5x down. You can take a bit more risk, and it's definitely a bit more of an advanced experience. But if you're investing large amounts of money, it's definitely great because the fees that you're paying are so low, and it's something that's really good when you're wanting to spend a bit more money. For me, the two favorites that I have are Hyperliquid and Asta, because the transaction fees are just so small. We're talking 0.04%, 0.07%, which means if you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and you want to be able to buy Bitcoin, this is the kind of places you go to, especially if you do the limit orders. The maker fee on Asta is so small, and the taker fee, just meaning that you basically are paying so little amount. And what is the taker fee is basically the one that you want to be using, and the maker fee is basically what you want to be using because it's 0.005%. And what it means is basically when you place an order or a limit order at a set price and quantity, it goes through the book and it waits till it's filed. So you can basically request when Bitcoin hits a certain price, you want to place the order. And what it will do is it will take such a low fee because you've decided to do it at such a low price. But even if you want to do a taker fee, which is where it's immediate, at 0.04%, it's just a bargain of a deal. And from there, you can move it to your own wallet at a really cheap price. Hyperliquid is another one that's just really cheap. Again, maker fees are really small. If you just want to do a limit order, where you're basically asking at a certain price to be able to buy the Bitcoin. And if you're an advanced investor that understands the kind of look and feel of it, you'll really like it. But when you go on there, it's a bit more of a trading experience where you've got all this stuff to look at. You've got to connect a wallet up. So for me, this is where like the user friendliness of it goes down a bit. It's not as much of a beginner experience, but what it does is it actually helps you to save a lot of money and make more complex orders. So this is where you can set your price, which is basically where the limit is. So let's say I want to wait for Bitcoin to go down a certain price, I can place the order, and then that's where you save the fee. But the whole experience of it isn't as user-friendly, and it's a multi-step process because you've got to connect a wallet. Then with that wallet, you've got to put money onto it. So usually that'd be US dollar Tether you put onto that wallet. And then from there, with that connected wallet, you then buy the Bitcoin through this site, and then you have to take it off onto another personal wallet. So the user friendliness isn't as great compared to the other options. But if you're investing more amount of money, it definitely adds up over time. So basically what I've done is I've put an overall table together to consider what are your best options, considering what level you're at. So for me, if you're a beginner, Coinbase is the place to go, especially if you're doing small investments of up to 5K. It's just a really good place to start, user-friendly, you can't go wrong. Cash App also has that same experience if you want a more phone-based experience and you just want to be able to do it quickly on your phone and just have a look. It offers a really nice experience. They're both very good on security, and if you just want to get some skin in the game and get started, it's a really good place to start. And if you're doing small purchases below 5K, it's fine to start there. In terms of more enhanced, bigger buys where you're going up on 5K, it's fine to use stuff like Hyperliquid and Asta. That's when you should start considering saving monies on your transaction fees and stuff like that and use Hyperliquid and Asta. It really matters when you're working with bigger amounts of money. So that's the overall review. I want you to consider what level you're at when you do this. If you're bamboozled by the whole process of using a trade software like this one, like Asta, don't be alarmed. Go and don't be afraid to use an exchange, because the last thing you want when you're investing in Bitcoin is to get overwhelmed and not step in the first place. If you have any questions in how to buy Bitcoin or where to buy your Bitcoin, leave a comment below and I'll be happy to help you out. This is still a small channel. I want it to grow as much as possible, but with that, it means I can help respond to people. So if you have a comment, I'll be more than happy to help you ask a question. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope I helped you understand where to buy Bitcoin in the safest and most secure way, considering all levels you're at. Thanks for watching.